Yemo sida ngasi tak to ise sina koi photosynthesis ki ani sub step dark reaction ne. Yare ko maximum question di sidai we la kani ko. Hoi question amam se light reaction na ngarang ki chemiosmotic hypothesis yam hangali. Aduga ngasina dark reaction tak to ni sisu yam hangim. Aduna ai tak pa hodringai da haiphetang ningsang minabo oina ko. Sirna nahan tamgiba information gi matungina photosynthesis haibase we can define photosynthesis as light reaction plus dark reaction ne haiba kasum kai de natra photosynthesis can be defined as light reaction plus dark reaction haina thamge basa now light reaction gi matamda na kai prepare tawdoba energy prepare tawdoba natra energy prepare tawdoni hairiba energy do shenaraga dark reaction gi matamda na kai prepare tawdoba food in the form of glucose prepare tawdone yare ko dark reaction gi matamda na food synthesize tawdoba light reaction gi matamda na energy prepare tawdo energy in the form of ATP NADP H2 sungi ningsangi ko mayam aduga dark reaction gi matamda na food in the form of kai sungdone ba glucose sungdone aduna glucose se sungge ai tari akoi hana energy leitaba yade had we done light reaction so do we have the energy do we have the required energy yes we have ATP we have NADPH2 ado ATP ga NADPH2 ga nataba product amsu form to be non cyclic ta kai oxygen su putokiba adu oxygen du diffuse out or paithokre gas ni na yarni kwa ana oxygen kai wai da puthuye lumen da puthuye ba kai split to matamda water splitting gi matamda adu da thadropo oxygen du being gas it diffuse out paithokrani yare kwa whereas we are left with ATP and NADPH2 we are going to use these two for the preparation of what for the preparation of glucose preparation thom tanga salam fazana injalo for the preparation of glucose preparation we use torni yare ko ana akoina ngasi talk to shina will be talking about the part dealing with glucose preparation called as kai dark reaction to done shall I start horsigo okay ye ngasi talk to shina dark reaction kitang manatar siga dark reaction se the second step of photosynthesis is called dark reaction not because this particular step happens in dark the thokpai na करीदोबगी सिगी particular steps है it is independent of light है light का directly depend तो दे कोई light reaction की product तो बुरी depend तो को but light ने induce over reaction दी नती बमादे light ने induce over reaction नती दी होजिक से light available हो रहे हैं लोर्स ने कई सुंगा मने ATP सुंगा हो रहे ATP दो लेता दी light से मुथत कर सो तुम dark reaction थोक पाया है नहीं सर ना इसे अन light तो directly depend over reaction नती यारेको अदुना light independent ओइबा reaction ओइबगी सी कई कौरिनेबा dark reaction हाइना कौरिनी not because the reaction happens in the dark ता थोपै नते यारेको सीमा dark reaction नि मतमदा कई prepare तौदनो during dark reaction glucose is to be synthesized right सिगी मतमदा glucose synthesized तवी हाइदना dark reaction is also called biosynthetic phase को कईसु कोएबा biosynthetic biosynthetic phase. Why is dark reaction also called biosynthetic phase? Because during dark reaction, what gets synthesized? Glucose gets synthesized. See matam the glucose sungi haidana biosynthetic phase going. Dark reaction की mechanism से glucose कमाई न sunge haibase for the first time explained by Melvin Kelvin को scientist हमने यहाँ ना explain तो हुआ. Hence dark reaction is also called Kelvin cycle square. कईसु को हुआ Kelvin cycle. अतोप्पा ममिंग अमसु लेरी ngahak le thonsi howrik dark reaction biosynthetic phase Kelvin cycle they are of the same thing chap mane ko so what bu tongan ba reference na maming thon ba kai gino dark reaction ko ide CCD light independent reaction oibine. Yareko. Kaigino biosynthetic phase koide. Sigi matamda glucose synthesized the way. Kaigino Kelvin cycle koide because this mechanism was first explained by Kelvin ne. Hauren amu Kelvin cycle sida ihana na form to compound do 3 carbon compound ne hierarchy. Aduna Kelvin cycle is also called C3 cycles going. So these are the different names of kana Bach reaction के different name ne. यारबा सिबोक्ता आई ताकपा हौगिरोइदोनिको नोय NCERT दा थेंगनदबा होरेन वारी सानबदा नुंगाइगदबा वारी मचेत मचेत सुम खरा हाना हाइगे अदुका थी नुंगाइदोनि यंगो हारिबा डार्क रिएक्शन की मतलब द ग्लूकोज कमाइना फॉर्म तोगे हाइसे कनाना इहान हाना explain तोगे हम the mechanism of dark reaction was for the first time explained by a scientist Melvin Kelvin हारिबा नुपासना इहान हाना explain तो Melvin Kelvin यारेको my role से तीन सावी यारेको सिगी Melvin Kelvin से माना dark reaction से understand तौनबगे दमकता कईदौगे हम तन माने different experiment मैम conduct तौ लेरमे सिगी experiment सिदी NCERT दा mention तौदेबको अदो इ चौरापम तंदी हाइगे माना कमाइन तौगे दा he took a green alga am lorame mana loriba green alga si none other than chlorella ni कई लौरेबा green algae chlorella NCERT ददी chlorella panbu उदे आई को algae ima lowi tang hai algae do chlorella ni haiba ma khambiro yare ko and he took karamba carbon dioxide तो normal carbon dioxide नतवा माना construct तो carbon dioxide by using radioactive carbon 14 na sawa carbon dioxide lore यारे को normal carbon की normal mass ते 12 निदना माना लौरिसना heavy isotopes radioactive form लौरे को radioactive लौरी से कईगिनो हाई ता research हो जी radioactive substance हम सासा लगेगा अदर अदुना चागे बेलम भी दोरेन trace तो लाइन radiation था दो पनीना अनमा carbon dioxide से पानी दा चंग रकान दा कई form तो ग्रे अदे कई on ग्रे दो trace तो नुआइना बा radioactive form use तो री यारे को now कमाइन तो गेदा माना माना सिगी radioactive carbon dioxide is it plants kay plants. This is green algae, a green alga. Yare ko, chlorella hariba panbi si panbi ni na masu photosynthesis toram ni ne. Photosynthesis kidamakta kay darkar ni carbon dioxide darkar gani ba. Darkar over carbon dioxide ta radioactive form do in a P1. Yare ko, he provided this radioactive carbon dioxide to chlorella for different interval of time. Tongan the interval. Yare ko. For example, ihan hanadama 1 second pisalewa. यारेको कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड से algae do da kayam kuin expose to eba tak law na 1 second kakta expose to eba next 1 second se pass to bolo eba he immediately killed the chlorella sa hatu eba na do kai chemical yawgen check to manung da and he found a chemical called a ko chemical am phange lors yare ba si bokta now he repeat the experiment chama na ba experiment sa hande mukna 2 second na mukapsale ei line abana kitang simplify to robani ko kapsalakanda 2 second later ma hatu 꼭 check ada e yawnde hanamna b yung yaw le yare ko hanam ahum suda for example 60 second kapsa le lor si aduga kill tore mo aduga check to kan na c yaw le me yare ko sidai mana kai khangge am tamda panbi na ne carbon dioxide se hek loksan baga immediately glucose sungdringai da compound ama an si mesin ihanan form to compound kai no sira e nen ta ba yaroidra because time duration do kena shortest duration ne base adi hek lotion biga hatu ga check to bani na e yawn tardi panbi na carbon dioxide se hek lotion baga hai hari ba carbon dioxide to kai the oleva a the ole hai ne a hana prepare to hai ne a du dai kai b du dai kai c aduna aina harak to isa panbi na carbon dioxide se hek uptake to ga glucose sungdingai da intermediate compounds me ama hana shemi na harak to ne and last glucose the sumaktoni hena tarakto yare ko so anna mana horen intanga hierarchy sir muna taw ko carbon dioxide si for the shortest duration passed or yenge immediately kill the chlorella and kai chemical phangeba a se analyze to yenge kai nona and a is found to be was found to be a 3 carbon compound called 3 phosphoglyceric acid oil amdane yare ko so by doing this experiment Kelvin came to know that Panbi amada any green plant amada carbon dioxide hek changbaga ihan hana form to stable compound se it is a 3 carbon compound ni haibase khangi ana akhoi yana na hodoise any green plant amana carbon dioxide loksala matungda the first stable compound form the first stable compound the first stable compound form during dark reaction. Dark reaction ni matamda ihan hana form to compound se kanane khangiba I'm going to write here is 3 phosphoglyceric acid ne haibase khangiba which is a 3 carbon compound ne se to glucose native yani ko ana pandi mana carbon dioxide loction baga glucose form to giroi glucose form to jeng ha ihan han stable compound ama hana form to wi adu ki stable compound se kai ko ba please read out 3 phosphoglyceric acid se hana form tawi se khangi sibo yaradra yani ko aina sigi wari se harak pa yana bana swa experiment se matim palam bani si experiment se gyan tawang bro ngami ko can I change this slide what was the first stable compound form ai si pe se dong halakini ko som nam teng biro hodri bane ba koi para takpa now hoji khangre kelvin na kai khange ham tamda pandi amada when a carbon dioxide is coming in pandi amada carbon dioxide change ko changa kanda pandi du manungda ihan hana form to deva compounds ma khange what was that 3 phosphoglyceric acid ni haibasi ma khange yarba which is a how many carbon compound which is a 3 carbon compound adu ibatara mana khalise yare ko carbon nama change aduga 3 carbon form to get there should be an acceptor am layer nishin yani ko adugi acceptor duga combine to raba matung the 3 carbon form to bani sine yare ko what should be the acceptor should be how many carbon compound acceptor si carbon kai compound oibam 3 carbon compound form to get it should be 2 carbon compound oibam thoktra noina haini koina hamnati ko carbon nam change adudi 2 carbon du punjala kanda 3 carbon compound form tro kadam ne noi su khandra ai su khale kelvin su khale matam du or han ba compound se 3 carbon compound oibani na sungsoi soidana ahan ba accept se 2 carbon compound oiramani se but the problem is he could not find any 2 carbon compound from the plant panbi de 2 carbon compound da chi khangdi yare ko adudi ma o adui tardi panbi da 2 carbon compound yaudi adudi kamai to is no haina he studied many times studied torkanda later he came to know that the first carbon dioxide acceptor is a 5 carbon compound khangil and that is none other than ribulose biphosphate biphosphate hairshai bisphosphate hairshai bis na khar chume ayu p sinem do in tholak tardi si kai kai ba ribulose biphosphate which is a how many carbon compound it's a 5 carbon compound yare ko aduri hoji koi problem am lag tore ga how many carbon is coming in 1 carbon combines with 5 carbon it should form 6 carbon form to bam thoktra combine 3 carbon oino hai is there any possibility yes molecule ani form to ya bro to molecule ani form to oile em done ba last 1 carbon combined with 5 carbon total 2 3 or 6 adum ta sei yare ko aduna sumain toraga mana kai khangi ba pandi da ihan hanba compound khaktana tana first carbon dioxide acceptor sisu kana ne khangi ba the first carbon dioxide acceptor in green plant is a 5 carbon compound and that is kai ko ba RUBP which stands for ribulose aiga pamina si ribulose bisphosphate ane ENCRT dadi aidi horen biphosphate am haide ko haibada nungaite ba yamna bisphosphate phosphate yare ko or biphosphate adi phosphate kaya yawa compound phosphate ani yawa compound and it is a how many carbon compound it's a 5 carbon compound yare ko hojik tak to topic se kaino dark reaction also called biosynthetic phase also called Kelvin cycle during Kelvin cycle what was the first product form 3 carbon which is a 3 carbon compound hence it is also called C3 cycle name adi sir na tak to se Kelvin cycle C3 cycle dark reaction biosynthetic phase name yare ko tak tri sir tak tringai da ian han ba form to compound kaino han ba carbon dioxide acceptor kaino hana khangba ma changi hai ai khange loroge so we jump to the mechanism tak horoge ko can I change the slide okay let's see look here kitang muni yung ko swai dadi fazana leire question je twist tor hongya ai horen hire kyong Kelvin cycle ama na to Kelvin cycle machet ang kaang gusto ay machet lo thuoga yare ko like reduction gi matam da ATP kya change kain Kelvin cycle am doen hangapon na to amaina aduna kitang khak muna taminers yarabo hobo yarabo okay what is coming in for photosynthesis carbon dioxide very good carbon dioxide is coming in we just learned that the first product form is a three carbon compound called as 3-phosphoglyceric acid. How many carbon compound, please? It's a three carbon compound. Yanika, the incoming carbon dioxide is accepted by a five carbon compound called ribulose biphosphate, which is a how many carbon compound? Five carbon compound. Five carbon combines with one carbon, so it should form how many molecule of 3-PGA? So it should form two molecules of 3-PGA. Molecule ni form to talk Yarniko, Yariko, Sigi steps. This very first step involving addition of what is being added? Carbon dioxide. Addition of carbon dioxide is called carboxylation. Haniko. This is the very first step, which is what we call as kaikoeba carboxylation. So let me write here the first step of photosynthesis. The first step of that reaction is right. Why called carboxylation? Because this step involves addition of carbon dioxide to whom? To RUBP so as to form two molecules of 3-PGA from there. Yariba? And this particular reaction is catalyzed by an enzyme called Rubisco. Rubisco ko enzyme na catalyzed there. So let me write here this particular reaction is catalyzed by an enzyme called what? Enzyme called Rubisco. Ay Rubisco se kaino swayda tharake amtang yengbiu ka. May wari yam lay ko. Natay sabi enzyme nati. Hore nupi ni koiram doni. Carbon dioxide ko biyunga, oxygen ko biyunga. Something. Let me write. Rubisco stands for ribulose biphosphate biphosphate. Sibo lay ko. C is carboxylase oxygenase. Please read out loud. Rubisco stands for ribulose biphosphate. Ribulose biphosphate tingnan sa kay RUBP do. RUBP carboxylase oxygenase. Am I missing? Bro, ribulose biphosphate carboxylase oxygenase. What is carboxylase? Carboxylase are the enzymes that are capable of adding carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide add to ngamba enzymes sing se kai koiba carboxylase koiba. Oxygenase haragana oxygen add to ngamba. Yare kwa adi rubisco hariba enzyme set it has got dual behavior. Can add carbon dioxide at the same time it can add oxygen hapasungame. But what is the behavior here? Carboxylase or oxygenase? But during that reaction or Kelvin cycle, its behavior is exclusive, totally kai carboxylase ne. Karam kanda oxygenase olakani. Aduri hojik karam nupi ga satminari haina. Carbon dioxide ka oxygen ga karam kan satminage hai tare under three conditions. Okay? Karam kanda karigumba temperature se karigumba pandi sigi akoi bada temperature yang wanghala. If the temperature becomes higher, if the oxygen concentration becomes higher, and if the light intensity, NCRT the light intensity, simadi pande ay hapsan ge ko, numit chap yung nuksa chap yung nasaraba intensity yang wangaba. Under these three conditions, Rubisco changes its behavior from carboxylase to oxygenase to onginib. Otherwise, under normal condition, it has more affinity with carbon dioxide ko hena layab. Aduri akoidi exceptional case sigumba nati akoina tamdoisi yare ko akoi normal condition yare ko ana hojil ma kana ga chatminari ba okay adu akoi amutang ga hayogi ko sir na swaida hanjan jana hayori se photo respiration ta pa kana tin wai ngasi photo respiration solution done yare ko rubisco can accept at the same time it can accept oxygen yare ko normally di kai accept the weba karam kanda oxygenase accept kaniba when the temperature becomes higher, when the oxygen concentration becomes higher, and when the light intensity becomes higher. Yare ko sima. Now, see ahan the steps se kangadra. Now, in a harak to say Kelvin cycle amada in one Kelvin cycle only one carbon dioxide can enter. Kelvin cycle amada carbon dioxide kya changpa ngameba? How many carbon dioxide is coming in? So I'm showing 1 Kelvin cycle neba. Hojir sir na utto si Kelvin cycle kya neba? Because I'm putting here only 1. Yare ko. But for understanding purpose, let me start with 3. Swaidani ko kitang lurak tuish. Amukta da carbon dioxide kya changhal lakseba? 3. Adudi sir na amukta da utto si Kelvin cycle round ahum utkir. Yare ko. Round ahum day sina horen noi calculation dam no ara kanim. Hangro hum utring aida amagi wari sha namta khangi sise carbon dioxide ama changadi RUBP kya oye. Amana hum changadi kya changni? So I'm going to put somda mayam yangaksiko. Instead of 1, let me put 3. 3 carbon dioxide is coming in. For 3 carbon dioxide to accept, we need 3 RUBP. Am I right? How many 3 PGA will be formed? 6. So may very good. Ama changpada kya form tawi? Ama da ani form taw tare ahum dari taruk form tawni. Yare ko? How many 3 PGA will be formed? 6 molecules of 3 PGA will be formed. Amtang cross check tok toksiko. How many carbon coming in? How many total here? 5 3 are 15, 16, 17, 18. 6 3 are 18. Let's find out. Yare ko sibokta. Sina ihan understand now. But here I'm showing how many round of Kelvin cycle? I'm going to show 3 round. Yare ko. Ngasai normally tamidor adubu Kelvin cycle ama dadi amukta da kya din champang amdeba. Ama de hen champang amde habadu makhambiro. Ai sima understand tawre haina lawa yarabra. Okay, some parts in dokhrage ko de sigi wari ko na sanas. Yongosira? Now, hojikfokta 3-phosphoglyceric acid leiriko. How many molecule? 6 ne. Hariba 3-phosphoglyceric acid se. Amtanga mayek sengna 3-phosphoglyceric acid di phosphate over. Carbon number kya da? 3 da adune 3-phosphoglyceric acid haise phosphate kya yawi? Ama at carbon number 3. Masagi hanade phosphate auxiliary ko. I'm going to add one more phosphate at carbon number 1. 1 dam option 7. It will become 1 3 by ani sure phosphoglyceric acid olani. Hangra total carbon number remains the same. This is total carbon kya no? 3 carbon. We are talking about how many molecules? 6 molecules. Sir, phosphate kamai hap to no hango. Phosphate can be added by using ATP. How many molecules we are talking about? So we'll definitely require how many ATP here? We'll require 6 ATP for adding phosphate to 6 molecules, right? 6 kay wala ni say 6 ADP triphosphate phosphate lagthokre hakre. Khangi ba sigo? Khangi ba from where this ATP comes? That's why light reaction always precedes dark reaction. Yare ko ATP laitaba yade ba. Dark reaction chathagedi. Khangi ko sibokta. Amtanga sir tapna paminasi asisu ingalwege ko kitang zoom in tawge. This read out 1 3 by phosphoglyceric acid neba ko. Aduri si kaino A si kaino acid neba. Noi hojir jiksu tamamdo mali organic chemistry da what will happen to acid when it undergoes reduction? Kai form tawge acid na reduce tawdi. When acid undergo reduction it forms aldehyde form tawge. Aldehyde na oxidize tawga na acid on form tawda. Acid na kai dordi reduction chatha tarde aldehyde form tawniba. Aldehyde na oxidize tawga na amuk acid. Hozik acid say in the next step it undergoes reduction. Kai chathareba? Reduction. Reduction chatha tarde si 1,3 by phosphoglyceric acid I say 1,3 by phosphoglyceraldehyde. Hai grani have a sarna I say. Khangbro? Khangi ko? Adudai duda I say reduction tawdingaida phosphate kya yawe? Forget about the molecules. Ani at 1 and 1 there are phosphate sinta hana lokthogeb reduction reduction ga simultaneously hai tare phosphate kya paithorani molecule taruk ni na taruk paithokre adi phosphate kya da khak haure carbon number kya da 3 da adi can I put like this 3 phosphoglyceraldehyde aldehyde on ko so not just removing phosphate what is also happening in the reaction what is this reaction reduction yeah, very good how many carbon compound is this 3 carbon compound. How many molecules we are talking about? We are talking about 6 molecules. Hungry mo? What is happening here in this step? Reduction. Let's remember, for reduction, we always require reducing agent. Chumbra, what are reducing agent? Hydrogen donor. Maro, hydrogen piba ngambadu natro reducing agent ti. Ana sidai shiboxi reduction nina kayama changam ganiba reducing agent. And that reducing agent is none other than NADP H 2 name. Yareko? How many molecules? 6. So we'll require 6 molecule of NADPH2 and it gets changed into 6 molecule of NADP plus the all of it. Comprehend? Ngasai three events the guide. That reaction occurs in stroma because the enzymes that I mentioned Rubisco is available in stroma. Yareko sibokta kai doubt lady hero. Yaribo pofona no makasi yunga. What's it say? We are having what is this? 3-phosphoglycerol dehyde. How many molecules? Adi Manipuri da hairake carbon humna saba molecule taruk lady henine. Yumbro, kita ingat ke ko sir, yengba nungaina ba. Hozik, phosphoglycerol dehyde se molecule masing taruk neba lady se. Taruk shi manung dane, amma se mapan da thokre. Let me use one color here. Out of 6, 1 move out. How many molecules moves out? Let me put here 3-phosphoglycerol. How many carbon compound this is? 3 carbon compound. And how many such molecule moves out? Only 1. To engage in glucose preparation. The use of glucose the use of glucose Yareko. What the wine hire to say? Phosphoglycerol they are glucose carbon kya glucose kya adudi glucose tangkhai ma sungba hogarkhre haine bo jaina hareise fuldi sungdriba Kelvin cycle round kya no yesa. Now the question is, do 3 round of Kelvin cycle enough to prepare 1 glucose? Answer is no. It prepares only half. Adi Kelvin cycle round kya darkar we hairkani horen. 6 cycle ko na khanda se badu wari do. Kya thokreba out of 6 how many moves out? 1 moves out to engage in glucose preparation. How many left? How many left? We are left with only 5 molecules, right? So I'm going to put here 3-phosphoglycerol. How many carbon compound is this? 3 carbon. But we are now left with only how many molecules? We are now having only 5 molecules. Yeah, reversible ta. Kaya changi carbon dioxide chang pada phosphoglyceraldehyde kya paithoki ama masai ama khaktang de hormadi kya paithokane section da paithorani adu thoktanamne ahumna horis khambro noi haijaraga de ama dum hobiu kem gaide ko sida ahum chang pada kya paithoreba glyceraldehyde amka tane paithori se ama khaktang na rotare 1 by n tawrani fraction oina chakrani ba adu chattanaba ahumna hogibne ba sir yani da ya hejana ro yare ya da so yare very good yonga samna kanda yonko 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde Manipuri dam tahaige carbon ahumna saba molecule manga. What is the total carbon here? 5-3R 15. Next step is rearrangement. Yonko loidoram step ama thak ngaire RUMP. What is this RU? Ribulose monophosphate. This is ribulose. So here there are 2 phosphate. Here there is only how many carbon compound is this? This is a 5 carbon compound. Yareko. Sise. Noi khangbre yonko. Carbon carbon kya na sabane ba? Carbon ahum na saba molecule manga ahan besidana. Rearrangement toroga carbon manga na saba molecule masing handagre. Total kya adum le 5-3R15 3-5R15. Yam changes laite ko just the rearrangement reaction. Khangro sanai se yare ko now monophosphate ki kai ondaba biphosphate adi kai ama hapsan dadi araroi phosphate ama hap dadi aroi phosphate kai shenar hapni ATP. How many molecules we are talking about? 3. So we'll require how many ATP? We will require 3 ATP changed into 3 ATP. So this is called Kelvin cycle coil. But I'm showing here how many round? Okay, now the question is, do this 3 round of Kelvin cycle enough to prepare 1 glucose? So the answer is still no. Kya khak sungdang tangkhai khak sungdang riba. Adi we need another 3 round. Another 3 round, right? So for preparing 1 glucose, we need a total of 6 Kelvin cycle dakar hai. Sila uli sila kya? Okay, whom the kya dakar hai ATP? How many ATP is used up in 3 Kelvin cycle? 6, 3, 9, taruk tadi. 9 plus 9. 9 plus 9 la ani yadi. Kya? So for preparing one glucose, we require 18 ATP. Darkar hai. How many round of Kelvin cycle I'm showing here? How many NADPH2 needed? 6. How tadi? Taruk tadi. To adoi tadi for preparing one glucose, we require 18 ATP and 12 NADPH2. Darkar oini haina ta adone. Phangba ngambro? Ngamiko? Adudi som namting view. What is going on here? This step from here to here is the second step called reduction. This step is called reduction. Tawadabu reduction thokedi ATP ma hana hap trigedi reduction thokpa yade ko. Adi karamba step ta ATP changi haba ma aham khange reduction matam dam change. Yare ko see RUBP se ngasai man ihanan okiba natra. The end of the reaction, do we regenerate the RUBP again? So this particular step is called regeneration. Regeneration. Now, do regeneration also requires ATP? So two steps of photosynthesis requires ATP. Okay, one during reduction and another during regeneration. Yariba, I am done Tadoki Gado question hangborage. Cycle se gyan daradro. Cycle se gyan data na kangdese. For preparing one glucose. Glucose molecule ama one glucose ama prepared to ge hai tardi. What do we require? Number one, how many carbon dioxide will be needed? We require 6 carbon dioxide required. Carbon dioxide kya darkar hoye ba? Carbon dioxide taruk. How many Kelvin cycle needed? 6 rounds of Kelvin cycle needed. 6 Kelvin cycles needed. How many ATP will be needed? Very good. 18 ATP will be needed. Maramdi asida uli sidi ahung kakineba. Taruk kidi 9 plus 9 la ani. Yare ko, how many NADPH2 will be needed? So we'll require 12 NADPH2 darkar oirani haidaba. Sineba koina chimha pudoidi. Now, Kelvin cycle round of the ATP kya darkar oirane? Round amada. Taruk ta train amadadi. Adi 18 divided by 6 so any adi 3 ATP. To round am kakti su khangbo darkar oir. 12 round tarukta NADPH2 kya darkar oir? 12 amadadi 12 divided by 6 2 NADPH2 darkar oirane. Yare ko hozik sumain khanga kanda makhata thare. During Kelvin cycle, for preparing one glucose, how many ATP is needed during reduction? Reduction ki matam de ATP kya darkar hoige? Ngai khomtang. Hozik ATP da kya darkar hoi reduction da? 6. 6 idi kana thakina. 3 round thaki glucose amgi di 6 plus 6 lani 12 NADPH2. Regeneration matam de kya darkar hoi ni? 3 plus 3 6 kai ATP darkar hoi ni to amai mai lakani. Ana machet tangoi hangaswe pumna hangaswe. Yare ko sumai hangus thingne. Can I set the slide? Sumaina? To prepare 180 gram glucose, how many ATP needed? Okay, look here. C6H12O6. How many glucose I'm drawing? One glucose has got a molecular mass of 180 gram. So 180 gram similar to one molecule. That's what I'm So do kya dakar wani? We require kaya 18 ATP dakar wani, 12 NADPH to dakar wani. Hangina laurage. Yarabo sibokta. So this is all about Kelvin cycle. Horin pare yung go sida yana paninga yaw ay mga yingamni noina hangwi daba kay yawge na hangwi daba laitre. Kelvin cycle lo silagi adra. Can I change the slide? Now, yung ko NCRT de noi NCRT da Kelvin cycle lo silakpada C4 cycle su pansalakani kya matha sa gini ko ay haying khangna ba tak to ne. Tak tringai da sir na haibe yabase C3 lorga Kelvin cycle lorga C4 cycle tak pose. Ay amuk phok su talak tri thaina dagi ko. Takpham su thok tabrang khale ba sir. Ko takpham thok tabrang khale di NCRT da di C3 lor C4 la is kitang khak chuna de lawe ba. C3 lorga photorespiration han takadam ne. Ana I photorespiration han takini. Photorespiration khang kanda example hierarchy ko. Suma hierarchy to ne. Desert ta huwa pan bi yam sa ni moidi. Sardik kai oin loksala ne. Rubisco behavior change from carboxylase to I just told you that at high temperature, Rubisco behaves as oxygenase when a behave to hydra. Adri asam from the whole pandishing the Kai will oxygen. Yereko, what is taking in of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide called? Respiration go. Yereko. On oxygen will oxygen na on the user and carbon compound loy oxides or carbon dioxide all the by to name. Photorespiration go. The photorespiration top of chances later. On a photorespiration की wari hana tawra kanda horen C4 icon hierarchy hozem ta matip ta taki yemo sira shall we start. So our next topic will be photorespiration. I video thagatningdramniko aina hek video thagani hairubdagi absence na oigipsina ai sir na noida su toina hairiduniko aina sir di sisidi aina lairikta para hairakpa nati osina sidi aina sir na koina sanga talakpa experience ne aina sum yengapado ko chahi mapan tara suramne sir talai selai sidai ꯐꯥꯎꯕꯁꯦ ꯀꯣꯝꯄꯤꯇꯤꯇꯤভ ꯑꯦꯛꯖꯥꯝ ꯐꯥꯎ ꯃꯦꯗꯤꯀꯦꯜ ꯈꯛꯇ ꯅꯠꯇꯦꯕ ꯀꯣꯝꯄꯤꯇꯤꯇꯤভ ꯑꯦꯛꯖꯥꯝ ꯐꯥꯎꯕꯁꯦ ꯃꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯁꯥꯇ꯭ꯔꯁꯤꯡꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯇꯣꯉꯥꯟꯕꯀꯣ ꯀꯦꯔꯦꯛꯇꯔ ꯑꯃ ꯂꯩꯌꯦꯕ ꯂꯥꯏꯔꯤꯛ ꯍꯩꯕ ꯅꯠꯇꯕ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯂꯥꯏꯔꯤꯛ ꯍꯩꯕ ꯉꯥꯛꯇ ꯅꯠꯇꯦꯕ ꯗꯔꯀꯥꯔ ꯑꯣꯏꯁꯦ ꯂꯥꯏꯔꯤꯛ ꯍꯩꯕ ꯅꯠꯇꯕ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯅꯣꯏ ꯊꯥꯖꯗ꯭ꯔꯦ ꯌꯦꯡꯉꯣ ꯐꯥꯔꯁ ꯁꯦꯀꯦꯟ ꯊꯥꯔꯠꯀ ꯇꯥꯕ ꯑꯉꯥꯡꯈꯩ ꯁꯨꯝ ꯌꯦꯡꯉꯣ ꯁꯤ ꯈꯛꯇ ꯅꯠꯇꯦꯀꯣ ꯁꯤꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ ꯅꯠꯇꯦ ꯑꯦꯅꯤ ꯇꯦꯁ ꯑꯝꯗ ꯅꯨꯡꯇꯤꯒꯤ ꯆꯥꯡ ꯅꯥꯏ ꯌꯥꯎꯔꯝꯒꯅꯤꯕ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯥꯁ ꯀꯣ ꯐꯅꯌꯥꯝ ꯍꯩꯒꯦꯔꯥ ꯍꯩꯔꯣꯏꯔꯥ ꯑꯦꯕꯁꯦꯟ ꯑꯣꯏꯔꯣꯏ ꯇꯣ ꯁꯤꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯂꯩꯔꯤꯕ ꯈꯔ ꯁꯛꯁꯦꯁ ꯑꯣꯏꯒꯗꯕ ꯃꯤꯅ ꯆꯦꯟꯒꯗꯕ ꯀꯦꯔꯦꯛꯇꯔꯁ ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯦ ꯑꯗꯩ ꯈꯤꯇꯪ ꯈꯪꯉꯛꯄꯗꯅꯦ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯈꯪꯉꯕ ꯃꯥꯟꯈꯠꯂꯛꯑꯕ ꯁꯤꯒꯨꯝꯕꯁꯤꯃ ꯁꯨꯡꯌꯥ ꯌꯥꯗ꯭ꯔꯕꯅꯤꯀꯣ ꯁꯤꯃ ꯑꯗꯨꯅꯅꯦ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯁꯤꯒꯨꯝꯕꯁꯦ ꯌꯥꯔꯤꯈꯩ ꯂꯩꯍꯟꯗꯅꯕ ꯍꯣꯠꯅꯒꯗꯕꯅꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯑꯩ ꯅꯣꯏꯗꯗꯤ ꯅꯪ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯍꯩꯕ ꯁꯥꯅꯨꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯤ ꯌꯥꯗꯕꯅꯤꯅ ꯏꯟꯗꯥꯏꯔꯦꯛꯂꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯛꯄ ꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤꯗ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯌꯥꯎꯋꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ ꯅꯠꯇꯦꯀꯣ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯁꯦ ꯌꯥꯎꯋꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ ꯅꯠꯇꯦꯕ ꯌꯥꯔꯤꯈꯩ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯁꯤ ꯀꯩ ꯍꯥꯏꯅꯤ ꯈꯤꯇꯪ ꯅꯣꯂꯨꯛꯅ ꯂꯩꯒꯗꯕꯅꯦꯕ ꯑꯦꯅꯤ ꯑꯅꯧꯕ ꯊꯣꯛꯂꯛꯄꯁꯤꯡꯁꯦ ꯂꯧꯁꯤꯜꯂꯒꯦ ꯈꯪꯅꯕ ꯍꯣꯠꯅꯍꯧꯔꯒꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯅ ꯈꯜꯂꯒ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯅꯠꯇꯕꯤꯗ ꯈꯤꯇꯪꯒ ꯈꯪꯉꯛꯄꯗ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯈꯪꯕ ꯑꯣꯏꯈꯤ ꯇꯥꯔꯗꯤ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯣꯕ꯭ꯂꯦꯝ ꯂꯩꯌꯦꯕ ꯑꯗꯨꯗꯣ ꯌꯥꯔꯦꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯅꯣꯏ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯁꯤꯅꯤ ꯍꯥꯟꯅ ꯗꯦꯖꯁꯣꯒ ꯌꯥꯎꯔꯝꯕꯗꯣ ꯌꯦꯡꯉꯨꯅꯦ ꯃꯣꯏꯅꯒ ꯇꯧꯔꯝꯃꯤꯁꯦ ꯃꯣꯏ ꯐ꯭ꯔꯦꯁꯔꯁꯅꯦ ꯑꯩ 11 12 ꯁꯔꯗ ꯇꯝꯃꯛꯏꯅꯤꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯣ ꯇꯝꯃꯛꯄꯁꯦ ꯁꯔꯒ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯀꯣ ꯉꯁꯤ ꯆꯥ ꯊꯛꯎꯁꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯁꯨ ꯁ꯭ꯋꯥꯏꯗ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯆꯥꯁꯨ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯊꯛꯀꯅꯤ ꯀꯩꯅꯣꯝꯁꯨ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯆꯥꯃꯤꯟꯅꯅꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯂꯣꯏꯅ ꯂꯥꯛꯄ ꯁꯥꯇ꯭ꯔꯅꯦꯕ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯄꯦꯔꯦꯁꯟꯁꯦ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯈꯦꯠꯅꯩꯌꯦꯕ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯄꯦꯔꯦꯁꯟ ꯀꯣ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯁꯤꯅꯤ ꯐꯣꯟꯒꯁꯦ ꯄꯥꯏꯔꯣꯏꯁꯦ ꯄꯥꯏꯗꯕ ꯉꯝꯃꯦꯕ ꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯑꯗꯨꯒꯨꯝꯕꯁꯦ ꯒꯤꯞ ꯑꯞ ꯇꯧꯕꯁꯦ ꯑꯩꯉꯣꯟꯗ ꯗꯤꯁꯇ꯭ꯔꯦꯛꯁꯟ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯂꯩ ꯄꯣꯠꯇꯨꯗꯤ ꯑꯩ ꯊꯨꯡꯇꯣꯛ ꯍꯨꯟꯗꯣꯛꯈꯤꯗꯕꯅꯦ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯊꯨꯅ ꯌꯥꯔꯦꯀꯣ ꯕꯤꯀꯣꯁ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯊꯥ 5 ꯈꯛꯇ ꯉꯥꯏꯔꯦ ꯑꯗꯩ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯁꯦꯀ꯭ꯔꯤꯐꯥꯏꯁ ꯇꯧꯒꯦꯅ ꯇꯧꯔꯕꯗ ꯊꯥ 5 ꯈꯛꯇ ꯉꯥꯏꯔꯕꯅꯦꯕ ꯌꯥꯔꯦꯀꯣ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯑꯩ ꯆꯍꯤ ꯑꯃ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯄꯦꯌꯔ ꯇꯧꯖꯈꯤꯒꯦꯁꯨ ꯌꯥꯔꯔꯣꯏꯕ ꯃꯔꯝꯗꯤ ꯊꯥ 5ꯗ ꯄꯩꯈꯥ ꯂꯩꯗꯣꯔꯕꯅꯤꯅ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯑꯋꯥꯕ ꯈꯥꯡꯗꯣꯏꯁꯦ ꯊꯥ 5 ꯈꯛꯇ ꯉꯥꯏꯔꯦ ꯁꯤꯅꯦ ꯁꯔꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯣꯏꯁꯦ ꯅꯍꯥꯟꯈꯩ ꯀꯨꯏꯅ ꯈꯥꯡꯉ ꯂꯥꯛꯑꯦ ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛ ꯊꯥ 5ꯁꯤꯃꯨꯛꯇꯪ ꯈꯥꯡꯕ ꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯂꯣꯏꯔꯦ ꯊꯥ 5ꯗ ꯁ꯭ꯇꯤꯜ ꯍꯥꯟꯅ ꯄꯥꯔꯝꯗꯕ ꯁꯥꯇ꯭ꯔꯁꯨ ꯊꯥ 5ꯗ ꯃꯦꯗꯤꯀꯦꯜ ꯐꯥꯎ ꯌꯥꯔꯤ ꯌꯥꯔꯦꯀꯣ ꯇꯧꯕꯇꯕꯨ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯅꯣꯏꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯁꯦ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯕꯥꯏꯑꯣꯒꯤ ꯆꯦꯞꯇꯔ 32ꯅꯤꯀꯣ ꯕꯥꯏꯑꯣꯒꯤ ꯆꯦꯞꯇꯔ 32ꯁꯤꯗ ꯅꯣꯏꯅ ꯍꯩꯅꯕ ꯆꯦꯞꯇꯔ ꯈꯔꯗꯤ ꯌꯥꯎꯔꯝꯅꯤ ꯌꯥꯔꯦꯀꯣ ꯆꯞ ꯃꯥꯟꯅꯅ ꯐꯤꯖꯤꯛꯁꯇꯁꯨ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯈꯔ ꯍꯩꯅꯖꯕ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯌꯥꯎꯅꯤ ꯀꯦꯃꯦꯁꯇ꯭ꯔꯤꯗꯁꯨ ꯌꯥꯎꯅꯤꯕ ꯌꯥꯔꯦꯀꯣ ꯆꯦꯞꯇꯔ 32ꯁꯤꯗ ꯆꯦꯞꯇꯔ 15ꯗꯤ ꯈꯔ ꯍꯩꯅꯩꯌꯦꯕ ꯀꯣ ꯐꯤꯖꯤꯛꯁꯇꯁꯨ ꯃꯣꯔ ꯑꯣꯔ ꯂꯦꯁ ꯐꯤꯖꯤꯛꯁꯇꯅ ꯈꯔ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯍꯩꯅꯗ꯭ꯔꯦꯅ ꯂꯧꯔꯁꯤꯅꯦ ꯀꯦꯃꯦꯁꯇ꯭ꯔꯤꯗꯁꯨ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯌꯨꯅꯤꯠ 10 ꯌꯥꯎꯕꯗ ꯌꯨꯅꯤꯠ 10 ꯑꯃꯗꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯏꯟꯅ ꯀꯥꯎꯅ ꯌꯥꯏꯑꯕ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯇꯥꯔꯗꯤ ꯅꯪ ꯇꯪꯈꯥꯏ ꯑꯃꯗꯤ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯄꯦꯌꯔ ꯇꯧ ꯂꯣꯏꯔꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯅꯩ ꯃꯤ 32ꯗ 15 ꯍꯩꯅꯈꯤ ꯇꯥꯔꯗꯤ ꯅꯪ ꯇꯪꯈꯥꯏ ꯑꯃ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯄꯦꯌꯔ ꯇꯧ ꯂꯣꯏꯔꯦꯕ ꯏꯟ 5 months you have to prepare only 50% ꯈꯛꯇꯅꯦ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯄꯦꯌꯔ ꯇꯧꯔꯛꯇꯣꯏꯁꯦ and some revision ꯈꯔꯒ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯊꯤ ꯌꯥꯔꯤꯕ ꯌꯥꯔꯦꯀꯣ ꯇꯧꯕꯇꯕꯨ ꯄꯨꯝꯆꯥꯏ ꯆꯥꯏꯔ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯄꯦꯌꯔ ꯇꯧꯔꯕ ꯑꯗꯨꯗꯤ ꯁꯨꯡꯌꯥ ꯌꯥꯔꯣꯏꯀꯣ ꯅꯣꯏꯁꯦ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯁꯨꯝ ꯌꯦꯡꯕꯗ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯆꯥꯏꯔ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯄꯦꯌꯔ ꯇꯧ ꯄꯨꯝꯆꯥꯏ ꯆꯥꯏꯔ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯄꯦꯌꯔ ꯇꯧꯕꯗꯤꯅꯦ ꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯁ꯭ꯇ꯭ꯔꯦꯇꯦꯖꯤꯛ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯑꯃ ꯆꯪꯉꯦꯕ ꯌꯥꯅꯤꯀꯣ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯃꯦꯃꯣꯔꯤꯁꯦ ꯑꯅꯤ ꯂꯩꯌꯦ ꯂꯣꯡ ꯇꯥꯔꯝ ꯑꯃꯒ ꯁꯣꯔꯠ ꯇꯥꯔꯝ ꯑꯃꯒ ꯌꯥꯔꯦꯀꯣ ꯄꯩꯈꯥ ꯃꯌꯥꯗ ꯂꯥꯏꯔꯤꯛ ꯄꯥꯕ ꯊꯨꯝ ꯐꯥꯗ꯭ꯔꯥ ꯍꯌꯦꯡꯇꯪꯒ ꯂꯩꯔꯝꯃꯗꯤ ꯍꯪꯆꯤꯠꯁꯦ ꯂꯣꯏ ꯅꯪꯒꯗꯕꯅꯦꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯗꯣ ꯄꯩꯈꯥ ꯊꯥꯎꯕ ꯄꯩꯈꯥ ꯅꯣꯡꯉꯥꯜꯂꯒ ꯅꯨꯃꯤꯠ ꯅꯤ ꯂꯩꯕꯗꯤ ꯂꯣꯏ ꯀꯥꯎꯈꯤꯅꯦꯕ ꯀꯩꯒꯤꯅꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯏ ꯈꯨꯄꯥꯗꯨꯅ ꯑꯦꯗ꯭ꯔꯤꯅꯦꯂꯤꯟꯅ ꯄꯥꯏꯅꯦꯕ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯑꯗꯨꯗꯤ ꯌꯥꯗꯦꯕ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯁꯤꯗꯤ ꯕꯤꯀꯣꯁ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯊꯥꯗꯣꯏꯁꯤ ꯀꯥꯎꯟꯁꯤꯜ ꯅꯠꯇꯦ ꯁꯤ ꯅꯠꯇꯦꯕ ꯁꯤꯅ ꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯁꯥꯡꯕ ꯄꯩꯈꯥꯅꯤꯅꯀꯣ ꯐꯖꯅ ꯐꯝꯊꯔꯒ ꯂꯣꯡ ꯇꯥꯔꯝ ꯃꯦꯃꯣꯔꯤꯗ ꯍꯥꯞꯄ ꯑꯃ ꯆꯪꯉꯦ ꯐꯖꯅ ꯀꯨꯜꯂꯒ ꯂꯥꯏꯟ ꯕꯥꯏ ꯂꯥꯏꯟ ꯄꯥꯔ ꯅꯥꯀꯟꯗ ꯑꯃꯨꯛ ꯏꯊꯣꯛꯄ ꯀꯥꯎꯗꯅꯕ ꯀꯣ ꯃꯔꯨ ꯑꯣꯏꯕꯁꯤꯡꯒꯁꯤ ꯏꯊꯣꯛꯄ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯦ ꯀꯥꯎꯅꯤꯕ ꯁꯤꯁꯨ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯇꯧꯕꯇꯕꯨ ꯍꯌꯦꯡ ꯅꯪ ꯊꯛ ꯍꯥꯡꯗꯣꯛꯑꯒ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯏꯒꯦ ꯄꯣꯏꯟꯇꯣ ꯎꯀꯥꯟ ꯕꯛ ꯕꯛ ꯆꯣꯡꯊꯣꯔꯛꯀꯅꯦꯕ ꯁꯨꯃꯥꯏꯅ ꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯁ꯭ꯇ꯭ꯔꯦꯇꯦꯖꯤ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯑꯃ ꯆꯪꯉꯦꯕ ꯄꯨꯡꯄꯥꯗ ꯄꯥꯕ ꯅꯠꯇꯕ ꯚꯥꯁ ꯑꯣꯏꯅ ꯍꯦꯛꯇ ꯍꯧꯕꯗꯩ ꯄꯨꯝꯆꯥꯏ ꯄꯨꯝꯆꯥꯏ ꯆꯥꯏꯔ ꯄꯥ ꯇꯥꯔꯗꯤ ꯊꯨꯅ ꯀꯥꯎꯅꯤꯕ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯇꯧꯒꯅꯣꯕ ꯑꯩ ꯍꯥꯏꯁꯦ ꯌꯥꯔꯦꯀꯣ ꯑꯦꯅꯤꯋꯦ ꯐꯣꯇꯣ ꯔꯦꯁꯄꯤꯔꯦꯁꯟ ꯌꯦꯡꯁꯤ ꯐꯣꯇꯣ ꯔꯦꯁꯄꯤꯔꯦꯁꯟ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯛꯇ꯭ꯔꯤꯉꯩꯗ ꯔꯦꯁꯄꯤꯔꯦꯁꯟ ꯈꯪꯉꯤꯀꯣ C6H12O6 what is this is glucose right oxygen ga reaction thwe glucose gets oxidized to carbon dioxide and water releasing energy very good okay this is called respiration since this respiration happens in the presence of oxygen this is aerobic respiration yareko I takti taktri silver takadamni but hande concept asibukti khange adi respiration is something like the opposite of photosynthesis in photosynthesis carbon dioxide and water combine in the presence of light energy and forms glucose releasing oxygen chumiko hojik aina hairaktoise ꯀꯔꯤꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯐꯣꯇꯣ ꯔꯦꯁꯄꯤꯔꯦꯁꯟꯁꯦ ꯉꯁꯥꯏꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯈꯤꯕꯗꯣ ꯐꯣꯇꯣ ꯔꯦꯁꯄꯤꯔꯦꯁꯟ ꯀꯔꯝ ꯀꯥꯟ ꯊꯣꯛꯀꯗꯒꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ ꯑꯩꯗꯤ ꯐꯣꯇꯣ ꯔꯦꯁꯄꯤꯔꯦꯁꯟꯁꯦ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯣꯕ꯭ꯂꯦꯝꯅꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯒꯦꯕ ꯐꯣꯇꯣ ꯔꯦꯁꯄꯤꯔꯦꯁꯟ ꯏꯁ ꯗ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯣꯕ꯭ꯂꯦꯝ ꯇꯨ ꯄ꯭ꯂꯥꯟꯠꯁ ꯀꯩꯒꯤ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯣꯕ꯭ꯂꯦꯝꯅꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯛꯀꯦ ꯌꯦꯡꯉꯨꯀꯣ ꯀꯃꯥꯏꯅ ꯇꯧꯒꯦꯗ ꯉꯁꯥꯏ ꯇꯦꯝꯄꯔꯦꯆꯔ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯋꯥꯡꯈꯠꯂꯛꯑꯕ ꯑꯇꯩꯗꯤ ꯑꯣꯛꯁꯤꯖꯟ ꯀꯣꯟꯁꯦꯟꯇ꯭ꯔꯦꯁꯟ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯋꯥꯡꯈꯠꯂꯛꯑꯕ ꯑꯇꯩꯗꯤ ꯂꯥꯏꯠ ꯏꯟꯇꯦꯟꯁꯤꯇꯤ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯋꯥꯡꯈꯠꯂꯛꯑꯕ सिगुम्बा कंडीशन सिददी रुबिस्को की बिहेवियर सी कार्बोक्सिलस ओरमबदो कई ओनखीबा अदि कई वे लौसलने ऑक्सीजन लौसल मनुंग लोय रेस्पिरेशन थुए कई थादोराने ngasai dark reaction na कई फिक्स तौबा कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एंड कई सुंबा ग्लूकोज होजिना कई लौसलपा अदो कई पुथोलपा अरे I can say that what is done during dark reaction is undone during photorespiration dark reaction na tawgi potong to haloidoneba dark reaction na ngasai dei wana carbon dioxide मैम जे fix तौर glucose ondokरेबा होजे होरेन photorespiration na कई लौसलतो अदो glucose मैम तो थुगारे कई ओला पाइथोलतो हमरो सरनाई से so what is fixed during dark reaction is unfixed during हमरो अदे ngasai dei chak sing chinchak sungjari मैम दो होरेन photorespiration तो मचिनजाक मैम दो लोई मांगा मांगा पाइथोखरनी carbon dioxide ओइनमो यारनी को अना पांबी द photorespiration am thok tare पांबी दो सीगी so photorespiration is a problem to the plant ne aina hairaptoise yareko aduna aigi ihan tobota bu sigi respiration je ngasai normal respiration o manabra di manadiko this respiration happens in the presence of light hence it is called photorespiration kaurido aduna ne yareko aduna sarna photorespiration je koi kamai define tobe ai photorespiration can be defined as input of kai changak toba input of oxygen and extra release of kai thadrok toba release of carbon dioxide yareko carbon dioxide when will this happen this happens when Rubisco behaves as Hiro when Rubisco behaves as oxygenase Rubisco behaves as oxygenase when a behave torokandane oxygenase and we understood that Rubisco will behave as oxygenase under what condition when the temperature becomes higher, or when the oxygen concentration becomes higher, or when the light intensity becomes higher. Si matamsida Rubisco the oxygenase on grani, oxygenase on the number where kai when input rani, aduga kai thadolani carbon dioxide. This is called photorespiration. Why? Because all this happens in the presence of release of carbon dioxide in presence of light. Light की presence study oibatai. In presence of light. यारेको अदुना sir line amtanga ige sumaina so we better write what is done or fixed what is done or what is fixed during Kelvin cycle की matamda wana fix tawjarubado kanano fix tawise carbon dioxide to yani ko is undone or unfixed during is undone or unfixed during photorespiration. 이리버시고 광이브로 광이고 오케이. 하리버 photorespiration 세 그다이와이더 자타기 켈빈 사이클 디카이 자타기 chloroplast की काय वायदा stroma द सथकी दना whereas this photorespiration से सथकी हाइबा तारगदी it involves three cell organelle hum change यारेको cell organelles kaya da tawdone ma se the entire reaction for photorespiration will require right three organelles it involves for the reaction to occur it involves three cell organelles cell organelles ahum darkar oi hariba cell organelles ahum se order naina phada yadeko the three cell organelles are number 1 chloroplast ihan base kananeba chloroplast ama darkar oi the second one is called peroxisome tarabra it is a single membrane bonded organelle peroxisome and the third organelle is mitochondria mitochondria हाइरिबा organelle ahum se ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ photorespiration ꯒꯤꯗꯃꯛꯇ ꯗꯔꯀꯥꯔ ꯑꯣꯏ ꯌꯥꯔꯒꯦ ꯌꯦꯡꯉꯁꯤ photorespiration ꯒꯤ reaction 2018 ꯗ ꯑꯃ ꯍꯪꯒꯤꯀꯣ NEET ꯒꯤ ꯈꯤꯇꯪꯈꯛ ꯂꯨꯠ ꯇꯥꯕ photorespiration ꯗ base ꯇꯧꯕ ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯦ can I change the slide look here how many cell organelles do we require three cell organelles what was the first let's say this is chloroplast see chloroplast ne lorsiga what is the second cell organelle let's say this is peroxisome and what is the last let's say this is mitochondria so here I have shown you three organelles I'm going to write the name corresponding name what is this the first one is chloroplast the second one is called peroxisome the third one is called mitochondria mitochondria now let's suppose ꯑꯩꯅ ꯌꯦꯛꯏꯕ organelle ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯁꯦ ꯀꯥꯏꯗ ꯌꯥꯎꯕ organelle ꯅ leaf ꯇ ꯌꯥꯎꯕ ꯌꯥꯅꯤꯀꯣ leaf ꯀꯤ cell ꯗ ꯌꯥꯎꯕꯅꯦ ꯂꯧꯔꯁꯦꯕ ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛ ꯄꯥꯟꯕꯤꯁꯤ ꯑꯀꯣꯏꯕꯗ temperature ꯌꯥꯝ ꯋꯥꯡꯈꯠꯂꯦ ꯂꯧꯔꯁꯦꯕ let's suppose the temperature becomes higher ꯌꯥꯅꯤꯀꯣ in that case rubisco will behave as oxygenase so what will be coming in instead of तो carbon dioxide चंगारोय हजिक कई वेन चंगानी बा हजिक से oxygen की carbon dioxide की मुहूर्ता oxygen is coming in oxygen वेन चंगे यानी क्या the incoming oxygen is accepted by acceptor do de dum chap manani ngasa acceptor kanano RUBP ribulose biphosphate how many carbon compound so the 5 carbon compound is accepting no carbon right so it will form 5 carbon adum leibam thoktra yarekwa chumeva 5 carbon di leigadamni but that 5 carbon dissociates ani thona kaiban 5 carbons 3 carbon ama 2 carbon ama yeah bro that 3 carbon is called 3 phosphoglyceric acid ngasai du nebadum chumbra which is a how many carbon compound 3 carbon compound sigodum thamgi ge yari ko the 2 carbon compound is called phosphoglycolate haine ko 2 carbon compound ma na kai phospho ai kitang hendong ne ige ko chandre phosphoglycolate yari hayo carbon kai compound sina 2 carbon plus 3 carbon 5 carbon yari ko what enzyme catalyze the reaction Rubisco very good but the behavior is oxygenase so I'll still put here we require Rubisco adumak darkar oigani yareko now what is this 3-phospho this 3-phosphoglyceric acid will undergo Kelvin cycle ma dum Kelvin cycle satha jagrani kai dum satha jagreba ai samme 3-phosphoglycerol 1,3-biphosphogyceric acid 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde RUMP one graniva see what cycle is this is Kelvin cycle yariko we are left with only 2 carbon compound what was that this phosphoglycolate set now sinane tholak to lan yariko kai tholak ki problem se manane create torok to This phosphoglycolate moves into the peroxisome. Peroxisome the kumdhareva. Yani ko and change into glycolate the change. Kay the change daw glycolate adi phosphate na mga maniko mga sunong ularoy. Glycolate is still a two carbon compound. Yeah, bro? Yeah, ko phosphoglycolate ki phospholautoke glycolate khatane. Glycolate CD chimhapu de dia ko. Glycolate changes into another two carbon compound called glyoxylate. Olive. Kaya ba? Laun hydro glyoxylate. Glyoxylate is also a two carbon compound. Carbon masing hong deva. The rearrangement reaction normally size. Yare ko. And glyoxylate finally changes into another two carbon compound called glycine. Kaya change ba? Launa paro maning do udaba yawanina glycine olive. Yari pra sibauta? Yari ko. To makha ta ba sidani ko question ngai sa in the maximum sa chang phong oi. Adui chahi do. Glycine then moves into mitochondria. Glycine kai kumdhareva? Mitochondria the kumdhareva. Just told you that glycine is a how many carbon compound? Two carbon compound. In mitochondria, was it glycine kai the later? Mitochondria. In mitochondria, two molecules of glycine combine. Glycine की molecule क्या combine तौरेगा? Two molecule of glycine combine. Glycine की molecule any combine तौतारदी. How many carbon compounds should it form? Four carbon compound, right? Instead of four, it forms a three carbon compound called serine. Serine से carbon क्या compound है बा? Adi carbon naman wale. That carbon is released in the form of carbon dioxide. Thadoreva. What is coming in? Look here. What is coming in? What is now given out? So it's something like respiration. Only thing is that it happens in the presence of light ki presence. The topo khatane. Yare ko 2018 the Hungrisana for the formation of one serine molecule. How many glycine is needed? Answer will be two. So two molecule of glycine is needed for the formation of one serine. Yare ko to sigi marak sidane kai thadok to siya. Carbon dioxide adi ngasai one fixed tawruba carbon dioxide me no paithole gas olaga. So photorespiration unfixes the carbon fixed by Kelvin cycle. Yaraba. Now, hydrogen serine se loy drichimba pudu kitangwa di ko. Serine moves up the peroxisome, peroxisome the kakale, and it gets changed into hydroxypyruvate oleva. Hydroxy swai shidi khara phadra swiyani ko. Kai the oleva hydroxypyruvate, which is again a three carbon component. Three carbon to three carbon. Yaribra mayam. Last. Hydroxypyruvate finally changes into kai the ongam tamda glyceric acid oleva. Like the glycerate haibaga glyceric acid haibaga samane khangi ko. Aman salt form the ibane aman acid form the ibane. Kai the oleva glyceric acid. How many carbon compound is this? It is still a three carbon component. From like three haina low bro. What is this? Please read out loud. 3-phospho. And what is this? This glyceric acid moves up the chloroplast and changes into 3-phosphoglyceric acid. Bro, to do it, we have to add phosphate, right? For addition of phosphate, we have to put ATP and ATP, the olive. Yari brahayo, yari ko. During photorespiration, it not just unfixes the carbon, it also uses up. So energy to sina topire carbon to sul unfixed or so it's totally wasteful process ne. Yani ko yam ti kana deva the panbi the sum photorespiration tawta the energy su lai roi food su lai roi ba. Ana the more the photorespiration higher is the chance that plant yam thu unchi be chances lai. Yani ko aina sir na ai irakchi ngak tang ai ko sir na photorespiration han ta kai gino like the C4 hana yauraga hai ta no question ma hang Sir na temperature wang ta di photorespiration thui hai adoi ta asaba mafam da like desert ta ho panbi sing sidi just example ni go desert ki di mechanism am di tongali desert ta ho panbi sing sidi photorespiration loi tor moi loi si roi dra na angbe adra yai ko to nature sina si khangye nature se kyam singge da go panbi se asa afam da masa ge hokjaba sing sidi photorespiration taugiba tare haidana go moi da di they have special cycle called C4 cycle when chathale. They have special anatomy provided called Kranz anatomy when a provider kaniba horen. Yareko, the Kranz anatomy is provided to prevent. So the photorespiration kang na C4 cycle tap to taning there. Other than start photorespiration and taise. Yara bro. So this is all about photorespiration. Ay ngasi ki sibok ta age yaradra. Okay, thank you all.